What's going on? This is Dave from Steel City Drones. Today, I wanted to show you a new van project that we just completed for an agency out in Idaho. Now, this is very similar to the one that we have at Steel City Drones that we use for drone training for public safety, but we did have a few different touches on here that I wanted to show you. And as you can see, this is a regular ProMaster 2500. It is a high ceiling, and also it has the 159 extended wheelbase, which is definitely going to give us the most room possible. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a little tour inside. So all of our vans are customizable. Now we have a standard template that we use primarily, and many of our clients like it, but we're not locked into it. So the way our own van is the same way as this customer van's is. So what we have here is 2 seats that allows us to be able to run 2 different flight operations at the same time with 2 different drones. And what we can do here is we can have this as the camera feed for the drone, and the top monitor can actually be the same thing, or it actually can be plugged into a laptop. We can have internet. We can have any other type of data that we need. Maybe it's a site map that we want to be able to keep on here. So right now I can be the camera operator, the pilot's outside, and we're all communicating wirelessly to the visual observers. So again, all of the options that we have are widely open for whatever your use case is and how you want to operate your type of drone missions. So we can actually even plug in, we have multiple HDMI inputs. We can have up to 6 inputs on here. So we could have more than 2 drones if we wanted to be able to do that and monitor 2 drones at the same time. So we also use a cradle point router here, and I always recommend using multiple cards in here as an option that allows you, where if you're in a rural area, having more than one type of service gives you a lot more options. Where, let's say you had a Verizon card and an AT&T card, and the AT&T card had a higher signal exactly at the location you're in, it would be able to switch to that. You can also have up to 3 different cards if you really wanted to. So this here has a 20 wire antenna system that goes up to the top of the roof for even additional signal boost, and it's worked out very, very well. Underneath here, this is our Ames power converter. We always like running Ames converters because they're pure sine wave and they're very reliable. And this one, we run a 4,000 watt inverter that is going to power everything from the back. We have a second alternator that is feeding off of the battery that goes and powers up everything off of this. So we have the initial alternator, the factory alternator, is running all of the factory electronics and the factory accessories for the van. And then we use a second alternator as the primary feed and supply for everything back here. Now, also back here in this wall, we have multiple batteries that are inside here. They could be AGM batteries. They can be lithium-ion batteries. There's different options that we have depending upon the overall cost and the scope of the work. And the internal batteries that are inside this wall here have enough capacity to actually run this entire backside for multiple hours without having the van on. So this Ames supply gives us full-time and real-time data for what our battery bank is powered onto. It also shows us that whether or not the alternator is working correctly, and or there's a verification that it's working. We've never had a problem with that before. This right here is a place for an optional weather station. If you want to put up your own portable weather station, you can have that all on here. And then this is an Android tablet that we use to be able to also control switching between inputs to whatever output we have. So we have the ability to take any input and route it to any monitor, or we can take one source and feed it to all the monitors. It's completely customizable depending upon what we need to do at that time. So for the floor, instead of doing just a regular rubberized type of floor, we decided to do an epoxy type of anti-slip mixture that works really, really well here. And we know a lot of public safety, they're out in all elements, rain and snow. So we wanted to have the most anti-slip type of makeup that we could make. And we did it in like a matte type of black finish. We didn't want it to actually stand out and make it shiny. And what we did was we extended the epoxy up into the toe kick all the way around the floor to give it an added extra layer of protection, because that is where all of the scuff marks and this in general all of the wear and tear get onto. So for heating and air, we elect not to use an RV style type of air conditioning system for many reasons. The first is, when you have an RV type of air conditioning system, you're going to lose at least 3 inches, perhaps 4, depending upon the model. Now, if you do that, now I'm 6'2", and this is the high roof right now option. I basically have no headroom. I mean, I'm not bumping my head here. It's perfectly fine. But if I, again, lose 3 to 4 inches, it's going to be a problem for tall people. The other issue with RV style air conditioning systems is that they are very heavy. So you have to modify the roof to allow for that extra weight. So they have to have extra bracing. So that's extra money and extra weight that you have to be able to put on there. And there's really no need for it. When we can go ahead and put something back into the dividing wall, you don't see it, it's perfectly flush, don't even know it's even in there. So that's what we like using for this type of a setup. Now, as far as cabinets and spacing, they're all customizable. For this application, they really liked being able to keep things much more simple. So we have, underneath the bench seat, we have additional room for storage. We have plenty of mounted hooks that we can go ahead and strap down any amount of gear that you're going to want to be able to transport. We have 12 LED lights on the ceiling to be able to keep everything as bright as possible. Again, we could go ahead and put a dimmer switch on this. We can use different color LEDs. They're completely customizable. Okay, so for the back, we can do an optional large TV. We can do them in a couple different versions. We can do them in ultra bright. So if you want it to be really readable in the harshest sun, we can do that as well. We can plug extra inputs into the van. We can plug external generators in here. We have external power in here, so we have whatever we need. Do we have to use a Ram ProMaster? Absolutely not. We can use whatever you want. We can use a Ford. We can use Mercedes. If you want to bring us your own vehicle and customize that, we can do that as well. So let's talk a little bit about pricing. Everybody wants to know about pricing, right? Well, I know that it's, a lot of people just don't want to hear call us for pricing. We will ask you to do that because we don't like to get locked into pricing, because a lot of factors are involved with what you're going to purchase and what actually you need. But I will give you at least a baseline for what you can actually look for, okay? So if you're looking for a van very similar to the build that you see in this video, to replicate a van like that right now is going to cost between $50,000 to $55,000 in parts and labor. Now, adding more accessories and add-ons, well, obviously, it can add up quite significantly. Let's say police lights and sirens, or security cameras, or you want more intricate type of monitor switching and control over everything. You know, there's a lot of things that we can do to add on that are very customizable, different type of storage and cabinet spacing as an example. And again, all the costs that we're talking about are excluding the cost of what the van cost. Now, we can purchase the van for you, we can locate a van for you, or you can buy your own and supply us a van. It doesn't matter. But I just want to talk about the pricing for the cost of the parts and labor involved and a complete retro outfit for a type of a drone van. How long does it take to build a vehicle setup like this? If we have the van and we're ready to go, we normally have about a 3 to 4 month waiting list to be able to get it in. And then again, depending upon how customized the package is going to be, we're looking anywhere between 3 to 4.5 months to complete. With that said, if you have any questions about this or you want to run some ideas past what you have, we'll be glad to talk to you, consult with you about what you need, and we'll take that next step for you. So thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.